2024 council meeting at 7 o'clock is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Peterson. Here. Councilmember Pete.
Here.
Councilmember Fields. Councilmember Brown.
Present.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Present. Vice Mayor Nickerson. Here. Mayor Wood.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna ask Reverend Alex Fredua Ajamang to come to the podium and open us up in prayer.
Shall we humbly please be on our feet in reverence to the Lord? Eternal Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for how far you've brought us as a people. We pray, committing this meeting into your hands, and we ask, Lord, that your presence would guide, lead your people to take decisions that will benefit this town and be a blessing unto us. We thank you. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. For the public's edification, the agenda has been amended. The easement will not be discussed today. It will be discussed at our next meeting with a more thorough presentation. All right, any other changes to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I welcome to a motion to adopt the agenda as presented today.
Mayor, I move that we adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Pete.
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Aye. Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
All right. Next on our agenda is awards and proclamations. I don't think the New Dumfries Fitness is here, so we'll present to Miss Ebony Lambert, and I will read the proclamation. This is, oh, here we go. I see it. It says National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. This was whereas the town of Dumfries celebrates National Fitness Month each May, underscoring the importance of fitness and wellness in our community. And whereas Ebony Lambert has committed herself to enhancing both the physical and mental well-being of others through her profound expertise in yoga and therapeutic healing practices. Whereas Ms. Lambert's program, One with Ebony Yoga, expertly combines physical fitness and mental health benefits, offering tailored yoga sessions that help align the mind and body, thereby promoting overall health and spiritual wellness. And whereas her sessions are carefully designed to meet the needs of a diverse clientele, including women, young people, individuals with disabilities, veterans, and those with special needs, significantly improving their quality of life. And whereas Ms. Lambert is celebrated for her biophilic presence, which infuses each session with tranquility, leaving participants rejuvenated and in a state of inner divine awareness. And where she has graciously dedicated her time to various physical related causes within Dumfries, including this month's mental health awareness move with the Mayor Initiative, enhancing the community's engagement in healthy lifestyles. Whereas her voluntary contributions have significantly bolstered local efforts to maintain physical fitness as a core community value. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Town Council of Dumfries that Ebony Lambert is hereby honored for her exceptional contributions to fitness and wellness in Dumfries during our National Fitness Month. And witness signed 21st of May, Mayor Derek R. Wood, by order of the council.
So I would like to first say thank you. This is an amazing award and truly appreciate it. I don't have enough time up here to share everything in the details of why this means so much, but yoga saved my life. And so my slogan is, it's not just yoga, it's your life. There are some of my students in here, and so they can really attest to it's not just yoga. I mean, it's meditation, it's breathing, it's awareness, it's balance. And so you take all of that into your everyday life and then you experience this. And it's a journey. It's not something you do one time and then just end. It is a lifestyle, and it is a way of your life. So I truly appreciate this. Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is the approval of the May 7th town meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the minutes from May 7th, 2024.
Okay, it's been moved
Second.
and second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Peak,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
That motion's passed.
All right. Next on the agenda is our citizen comment time. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens signed up to speak tonight?
Yes, we have about 8.
Okay.
First person is Jeremiah Burns.
My Burns had an emergency. He had to leave.
Okay. Maria Flores.
Hello. My name is Maria Flores. I just moved, I moved 2 years ago to the Prince William Estates. Beautiful property, love it. The question that I have is, what will be done for the homeowners that live on Dominion Drive, that live behind that creek? All right, I already have issues with enough insects with the humidity with that creek there. I knew I had a creek when I bought the property, but the issue will get worse. So what will be done for us that live there? Secondly, as a mother of 2 that are growing and are active, what will be done for the safety of them with the amount of traffic that will be coming in? I already had an incident on Mother's Day with an actual council member where we almost had a car accident leaving the actual Prince William Estates. So what will be done to prevent this? Or to make sure that my kids and all the other kids are safe in the neighborhood? And also make sure that our properties are okay.
So we just take the comments here and then, yeah, we don't,
Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Next person is James Neal.
First, I want to thank the council mayor and the council members for the many positive responses I received to the email I sent out earlier offering to support and commitments to be with us in this effort to work with Harbor Reserve and that roadway coming through into Prince William Estates. Appreciate that very much. And also, I think some of you made that drive through to see what the traffic is like and the streets and the narrow streets with the anticipation of a lot of extra traffic. I have an email that Jeff Branco sent to me. It's directly initially to the mayor, but I have Jeff's permission to read it to the entire council, and I have copies which I'll make available. In the documents published to the town site, there is a document entitled Infrastructure Plan Harbor Reserve. This copy looks like an original submission. Is there a signed copy of this that we are assuming gives the developer rights and waives the town's rights? Were there additional review documents with comments from the town's architecture, planning, or zoning boards prior to approvals? Is there a signed copy of this site infrastructure plan? Is this what we think the manager signed off on that gives developer right to use the road and gives up our leverage to have them responsible for road repairs and improvements to intersections? So that's Jeff. His name is spelled, by the way, Geofrey, Branco. He was the author of that text. And I prepared an item as well to the council. In the interest of transparency and with the goal of anything that might mitigate our situation, I'm asking the council to provide a full and complete copy or copies of all signed plans and easements and all supporting documents pertaining to the planned roadway connecting Prince William Estates and the Harbor Reserve development. Since the easement or the roadway is not on the agenda tonight, this gives the council a couple of weeks to look into this and look forward to getting responses to these requests. Thank you very much. I have copies. I'll be giving them to the clerk.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next person is Ebony Lambert.
We thought it was the sign and sheet, so I apologize.
Okay, no problem. The next person is Anita Corzin.
I'm Anita Corson, live at 17921 Curtis Drive, Prince William Estates. And I just wanted to say that my husband and I were really impressed Sunday evening when the mayor and a few of the town council did a drive through our neighborhood. And we were having a meeting, some of the neighbors and things, one of our little group meetings, and the mayor took the time to stop by. You listened, answered questions. We were just impressed, and we're hoping that this will be a positive step toward us having a more trusting atmosphere and working together to get all this cleared up. And also, I was pleased that Mayor Wood really listened to Jeff Branco on some of the points where for the subdivision that we live in, that it has only one entrance and exit, that there may be a real legitimate reason we can't tolerate the type of traffic that's going to be coming in and out. So I appreciate you having a meeting with Jeff and somebody from Prince William County to look into this. And we're also hoping that we'll see all the documents we've been waiting for coming up on the website, and that the people in our neighborhood that do have the water issues, like we heard somebody talking about, that all these will be addressed and not forgotten. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
The next person, and I apologize for pronouncing that last name, Richard Facilio. Okay, thank you.
Richard Fasciolo. I live Prince William Estates as well. I just had a couple of things to bring up since we had a little bit of time. With the restoration of Quantico Creek that's going on, the $1 million+ that we're spending on it, was the new community and their stormwater taken into consideration with the size and everything that we're doing to restore the creek itself? Did we think about that before Prince William County or while we were doing the creek? And also, the water main that I saw on the plans that's coming down Curtis Drive itself, was that part of the infrastructure that was approved by the town of Dumfries? And who's responsible for tying into that, since the entirety of that main is going to be in Dumfries that feeds Prince William County, I guess, Harbor Reserve. Those are the only two I got. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next person is Robert Tubbs.
Hi, I'm Robert Tubbs. I live at 4051 Dominion Drive. I'd like to thank the council for what they've done. Their care, appreciate it. Myself, I feel hurt, but I blame myself because I didn't contribute to find out what's going on in my community. And now I understand I not only have to be involved in my town, I have to be involved in my county, because it seems the county is the ones that have pushed this through without telling us. So I'm going to take some of this because it's on me. I should have been looking. But if I have to go to Richmond, I will, because this is just not right. And I'm going to have it changed. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next person, Amy Tubbs.
Hello, Amy Tubbs, 4051 Dominion Drive in Prince William Estates. And I had a question and a comment. First, basically, I think it's all about the traffic study. I was reading, thank you for putting the documents on the web, by the way. So some of them were very confusing, muddling through it. I did find in the traffic study, one of the background documents states, access to the development, meaning Harbor Reserve, will be provided by a full access entrance at the intersection of EB and Lida, with the site entrance being a fourth leg added to the south. So I'm questioning what that means. I know you can't answer me directly now, but what is this? Is that the site entrance where they're going to come in and build and then close that off? Is there going to be another site entrance where we're thinking there should have been the road to begin with? I'm just not sure what that means. That raised the flag right there. And then in the overall conclusion of the traffic study, we now that we see the traffic study, we can see that it was not just done on the little Alicia Lane. It was incorporating Curtis, Dominion, Route 1, Graham Park. Their overall conclusion stated, based on analysis results, the proposed development will not have a substantial impact on the surrounding roadway network. And my problem is, for one, I don't see how that could be, but also, well, what's their definition of substantial? We don't know what that definition is for them to say that, but also the way they came up with that was how I interpret it. They went with the 2015 study and just added 2% a year, but that standard doesn't match what's happened over the last 9 years. We've now got apartments up behind 7-Eleven. We've got a townhouse development. We've got Rosie's. So I just think the way they came about that conclusion doesn't, to me, make sense. So I don't know if we can dispute that, if we can rebut that or something like that. And since I have a minute left, I'm sorry, I will. Jeff Bronco also sent a text to us because he couldn't be here. And he wanted to make sure, has anything been done yet I know he requested not only at the town meeting, but the town hall meeting we had, to check and see if anything has been done with the stormwater management systems, to see if they've been being maintained and there's been upkeep. I think you may remember he asked that. So he wanted to know, has everything been looked at yet? And the other thing was, I think that was it. And the flooding has already come up, and he just wondered if anything is being done with that before this new development for the residents having an issue. And that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
All right, the last person is Solange now.
I saw her. Oh.
Solange now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for this opportunity. I just have a question. I don't know, there's some rumors that I heard about another building that's going to be taking place in front of my house. I live at 17945 Curtis Drive, Dumfries, in the Prince William Estate. I'm just curious to find out if those rumors are actually true. And if so, have we been privy to any of that information about the senior retirement center coming there, adult daycare coming there, and some other commercial buildings? So I'm just curious to know, since that is going to be directly opposite my house, and the building is going to be on the hill, which means from the hill, they have a full picture of my house. I feel like I'm being invaded. So will there be a privacy wall? What will be done to ensure that we have some protection? Also, Curtis Drive is a concern that has already been shared with many others that have spoken before me. So safety is a big issue. And what is going to be done to ensure that that community is safe for commute coming in and going out? And also, is it possible to get, would there be additional lights that would control how much time we come in and out? I was just coming here to this meeting this afternoon. I stood at that light and I counted the minutes. It was almost like 4 minutes that I have to stand there to make a left turn to come to this meeting. So I'm just imagining how much longer we are going to have to stand. And do we have that authority to be able to see if something could be done to adjust the timing of the lights, so that we don't have to spend 5 minutes just to make a turn and then you go face another light again? So it's really disturbing. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all for your comments tonight. Next on our agenda is going to be reports and presentations, followed by a town manager's report. So we have a presentation from Lance Mason from Data Analysis from Axion on My90 Data Solutions. Madam Clerk, did you say he's on? Okay. Sir, if you're on Zoom, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I
Oh,
appreciate you all for allowing us to join. Actually, my teammate, Brooklyn Grossroth, she's on the call and she will be doing the demo. So I'll pass it over to her.
Okay.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me on today. It's a pleasure to talk with all of you. A little bit about myself. I've been with Axon for 4 years now, and I've been working with the My90 team for the last 1.5 years. I work with agencies across the country, including very close to you in Fairfax County, Virginia, to work with our agencies for them to publish surveys. And I also work with them to accomplish strategic initiatives that the police department may have. I believe that we have slides that we've sent over today that we're going to be using.
Yes, you want us to pull them up for you? Put on the screen? Okay. Can you pull it? I don't know if we can actually pull it up. Are we ready to?
Okay, give me one moment.
Okay. I don't think we're queued. But we do have the slides. While we pulling it up, tell us a little bit about Axion and what Axion does. So we.
Sure, I actually do have the slides if you want me to just go ahead and pull them up.
Yes, be quicker.
Okay, great. So For those of you who don't know, Axon is one of the leading companies that helps police departments with a variety of different services. We are most known for our tasers, a non-lethal option to guns that police can use. We also have body-worn cameras that are used all across the world to basically help protect life and also truth that happens within our environments. We have many other different features and tools that we use at Axon as well, such as license plate readers. We also have drones. There's so many different things that we offer. Today, I'm going to be particularly talking about a product called My90, and I believe that this presentation is more of a proposal to the town council so they can be aware of what the PD would like to use at Dumfries. But a little bit about My90. My90 is Axon's community engagement tool. And so to kind of explain the name My90 here, just so we can kind of understand a little bit better. When we were first working with our product, we were working with a sergeant in California who let us know that when he interacts with the public, he only gets about 10% of the story. So the hope with My90 is that we reach out after interaction with the police, and we basically get that other 90% of the story, or the citizens' My90. So My90 is used in a variety of different ways, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about all parts of the solution today. So there's 4 different parts of the solution. We'll talk about all of these kind of in a high detail context, and then I'll go through a little more granularly. So post-contact surveys are our bread and butter. These are surveys that get sent out to individuals who are calling in to the 911 or non-emergency line. Essentially what happens is after an interaction, we send out a survey to them just asking them about the interaction. Then we have automated messaging. This goes out to those same individuals who are calling into the 911 or non-emergency line, essentially just giving them a little bit more information from the department, either about the non-emergency line or their incident number or things like that. And again, we'll kind of give an example in just a moment. Then we have community engagement. This piece is another survey part that can be used for the community, but it's a little bit different from the post-contact surveys in that it's basically a link that can be shared on social media or even in the form of a QR code in a variety of different ways. Then lastly, we have employee surveys. Employee surveys are to be utilized by the department to survey internally. So we have surveys that go out to maybe just sworn officers or maybe even professional staff or even dispatchers. So we'll go through all of these today in a little bit more context. I wanted to share first an example from Fairfax County, which I know is very close to you. But essentially, they let us know that a few years ago, they were doing a mailing initiative trying to get a little bit more feedback from the community on how their department was doing. They sent out thousands of mailers, and unfortunately, it was rather unsuccessful. They only got about 10 to 15 back. However, when they began to partner with My90, they were able to collect over 3,000 responses in just 2 months. Now, fast forward to today, they've been with us for a little over a year and a half, and they have well over 17,000 responses. So definitely a lot more of an understanding of what's going on within their community and also how the community members feel about them. And they also get other information such as top safety concerns and things like that. It's been extremely helpful to them to kind of understand what's going on within their community, feedback they otherwise wouldn't receive. So in terms of kind of what's happening on the front end, a caller will call into the 911 or non-emergency line. The dispatcher will go ahead and take their information. The dispatcher doesn't have to do anything different than they normally do. They will either close the call or they'll dispatch out an officer. Your officer will go ahead and do their job per normal. And then essentially what happens at the end of the day or the next day, that individual who called in will receive a text message directly to their phone or the number they called in with, providing them a link. And if they select to click on that link, they can provide for us confidential information. There's a variety of different questions we ask on these surveys, such as who did you interact with today, whether that's dispatchers or police officers. We also ask about the interaction. Did they receive the help they needed? We also ask top safety concerns and also what they'd like the police department to kind of do to mitigate those. But then we also ask if there's anything else they'd like to add. And this is a free form area where individuals can go in and they can mention officers by name. They can also mention select intersections or places where they'd like more patrol, or just kind of give a little bit more information about their community. So wanted to kind of give you an example of what you see when you are interacting with the survey here. So you can see over on the left side, we have an example of the survey that would, as it would appear on your mobile device. I want to clarify here that if an individual has or they speak a different language other than English, and if their browser is preset to that language, it will go ahead and translate for them. So they're not excluded. They could definitely participate in the survey as well. Now, once we have that survey information, all of the data automatically feeds over into a dashboard similar to this one that you see here on the right. So basically what happens is our department will have access to this dashboard and they can view it. They can also view the number of sends, responses, the response rate, and then all of the other questions that kind of appear in there. This dashboard is extremely helpful to a lot of our departments that we work with because you're able to go through and manipulate it by certain timeframes, or you can either distinguish where the interactions with dispatchers or with officers, and you're able to really drill down into that information here. I want to mention here that standard industry response rate for surveys are typically 3 to 4%. However, at My90, we find that our response rate is on average 14 to 15%. However, I've worked with plenty of agencies across the country, including Bedford, Virginia, who have response rates well above 20%. So it just kind of depends on your community, the size of it, and how engaged they are with your police departments. Post-contact surveys can also kind of help identify trends from time to time as we kind of show you how things go from month to month. And we can also work with our departments to help create reports for them that they can use in town council meetings similar to this one. And we've definitely worked with agencies before where using that information and that data, they've been able to secure other funding and additional funding for resources that they may not have had previously. Transitioning now into automated messaging. Automated messaging is similar to the post-contact survey in that these are messages that go out to those individuals who are calling into the 911 or not emergency line. Essentially, it's just additional information that the department can choose to provide to callers. So in this particular example, they highlight incident number, they also give the non-emergency line, and they also say how to file a report online. The department is in complete control of what they'd like to say, and they can send this out to either specific calls for service types, or they can send it out to all calls for service types, but they can even get more granular. If there are specific calls for service types they'd like to send a survey, or I'm sorry, send a specific message to, they can do that as well. So they are customizable, and we work very closely with the department to determine what goes in that messaging. But also these can also be used to let a caller know if there is a response delay time. So let's say at like maybe the 45-minute mark or the 60-minute mark after an individual has called in to the police department for help, if at that time frame someone has not been dispatched out yet, we can send them a message and let them know, hey, we realized you called in a little while ago. Someone will be on their way shortly. So just basically letting them know we haven't forgotten about them. Then our community engagement feature. This is very similar to the post-contact survey, but it's basically just utilizing the survey to ask other individuals in the community who are not calling into the 911 or non-emergency line. So we work with various agencies across the country that either put this on their website or they put on their social media. We can also provide for our agencies a QR code where they can take that and they can employ it however they like. Whether that be they put it on business cards for street contacts, or they also put on their police cruisers, or even standing it up at events such as like Coffee with the Cop or National Night Out. So just trying to get other information from community members that necessarily aren't calling in. Or we can also create landing pages such as this one you see here for the Hawthorne Police Department. It's basically just helping drive engagement with websites that already exist on the web. And it can be really helpful, especially at events, to help individuals navigate to certain parts of the police department's website that's already pre-existing. Lastly, we also have our employee surveys. Employee surveys are my favorite part about My90. They could be used in so many different ways. We work very closely with the department to determine how they like to utilize these, but essentially, employee surveys can be used just to evaluate how officers are feeling. Do they feel like they have adequate mental health resources, or do they need more training, or even retention within the department? We also have rotating sets of themes such as mental and physical wellness, financial wellness, job stress, and also job satisfaction. But I've also worked with departments across the country that use these to evaluate trainings or evaluate mental health professionals or resources. And then I've also worked with agencies closely who are curious about officer wellness, and so asking their officers about that and how that's going. So when it comes to the employee surveys, they can be used in a variety of different ways. We work very closely with our departments to determine what their initiatives are and then help them build surveys for that accordingly. So that dashboard picture that I showed you a little bit earlier, that's a great example of just one part of our dashboards. Each individual solution does receive its own dashboard, and we do work with our officers to make sure they're highly educated in terms of how to use those. Those dashboards can also be shared externally with our community members. So if they'd like to, they can publish parts of that dashboard or the entire dashboard online to share with the community. So there's a little bit of transparency there. That is my high-level overview of the My90 solution. If you'd like, you can scan this QR code. It will direct you to one of our landing pages, and then you can also take a survey there just to kind of see how it works and functions. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take those now.
Councilman Peak.
Absolutely. Thank you for the presentation. It was well presented. Just have a few questions here. Normally when we have presenters come and present creative apps like you guys have here, these are my questions here. First, how much does this cost to run this here?
Yes, the cost is about $10 per sworn officer per month.
My next question is, do you guys provide the staff for this, or who operates it? Who manages this app? Do it includes our staff to help you all out, or how does this work?
That's a great question. So typically we have an assigned point of contact at the department level, and then myself as a project manager will work directly with them to establish what that survey is. I do all of the heavy legwork. We definitely want to make sure this program is something that doesn't take away too much time from our department individuals. And usually once we get it up and running, it takes no longer than 5 minutes a month to maintain.
Okay, my next question here. Thank you for that piece of information. My next question is, we already have a Dumfries Citizens Connect app, right? And in a similar sense, we're able to go to our police department and add in additional traction that we need for requests, and also follow the request and even see how it comes to a conclusion. My lead question is this: are we able to incorporate that into our Dumfries Citizens app, or is this two different apps we're talking about here? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, I should clarify that it's not an app. So no one will ever have to download anything. It opens up directly in the browser. That being said, if we wanted to provide a specific link that we embed in your Citizens app, we definitely can.
Thank you much for your presentation. And Mayor, those are my questions for tonight.
All right, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I actually had a question pretty similar to what Councilman Pete was asking, because, well, what I really wanted to know is this something that the chief is asking for as a resource for the police department? Because there does seem to be an overlap in the communications with the Citizens Connect. And I know that when our Citizens Connect app was pushed out to us, there were some additional tenants that we could use if we saw a need to expand. So I see some overlap here. So is this something that our police department is requesting as a resource for them?
Ma'am, it is my police department has not requested it and they have not had an opportunity to review this information.
Okay, well, I'd like our police chief to review this and vet it to see if this is a resource that they find beneficial. Because if this is marketed toward the police, then I would definitely like their input on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, Axion is usually just body cams. How did they get into, I guess, surveys?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So Axon has what they like to call an ecosystem of many different products. They range from the body cameras, like you mentioned. We also have our tasers. We have fleet. We have drones. We have other tools such as investigation. There's so many different pieces of it, including call and dispatch systems, record management systems. And so in order to kind of complete the ecosystem, that's where the survey tool comes in, as it's Axon's community engagement piece. There are many different community engagement companies out there similar to My90. This is just Axon's take on it.
Well, thank you for your presentation and taking time out to share this with the town of Dumfries and our police department. We do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I think there are no more questions.
Awesome. Thank you all for your time tonight and your questions. Really appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. All right, next on our agenda is our town manager's report.
Mayor and Town Council, you have a copy of my town manager report. Briefly, I'll highlight a few things. As you're aware, the budget for FY25 has been adopted. The books have been printed and the budget in brief has been uploaded to the town's website. And I'm skipping over to recreation and civic engagement. We hosted another job fair on April 17th. Farmers Market has been open and will conclude on September 21st. We've already had our successful Charter Day celebration. And we are having our second annual autism awareness event this weekend at Ginn Park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we're having our third annual expungement clinic, which will be held at the Clyde N. Washington Junior Community and Recreation Center on Saturday, June 8th. If you have any questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Chair Pro Tem.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Ennis, thank you for your report. Just a point of clarification. I know that the autism awareness event is actually at Garrison. So I just want to make sure, that we put that out there. Thank you. No problem. Also, I would like to, we're in receipt of your after action report from the 275th Charter celebration, and it was a wonderful event. I do want to make sure I send a special thank you to our staff members who jumped in and were able to fill in. There were obviously some deficiencies that we found, and they jumped in. They were team players, and they made sure that they came through to ensure that the citizens had a tremendous day. I think that in the future, we should probably, since we have this department stood up, we should just rely more heavily on having the department plan events of this nature. But I definitely want to send a special thank you to Yvette and to Mr. Vines and also Ms. Johnson and even our interns who came in the stretch to make sure that the citizens were not let down. But yeah, I think moving forward, we have a department that stood up and, and we can handle these things in-house. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo Pro Tem's sentiments because the staff did jump in and fill in the deficiencies that were left in the planning of this event, and they absolutely made a big difference. I feel that after reading your after action report with regard to some of the deficiencies, the holes were pretty large when it looks like things that were missed, such as seating, programming, These are the types of things that, one of the reasons that we actually agreed to have an event planner was to take the pressure off of the civic engagement and the staff. So to then have the staff have to have such a heavy lift as documented by your after action report is rather disappointing, considering all that went into the having an event planner here. So thank you very much for you and your staff for stepping up and answering the calls so that our citizens did have an event to attend that was so well managed so that they didn't see the deficiencies. So I do appreciate that, and I echo Pro Tem's sentiments. So thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
And your report is very thorough, and I hope that we will use this report, especially the lessons learned section, for future references. Those are my comments at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to ask about some projects, just to clarify. Is there any updates on the Hillard Church project that's happening in Prince William Estates?
I do not have those updates as of this moment. I will have an update for you guys at the next meeting.
Okay, as far as I guess traffic calming measures.
Yes, sir.
Prince William County has agreed that they will take on the charge of laying down and starting that as soon as we get a message over to them to start counting the traffic so that we can look at traffic calming measures on Curtis Drive.
Thank you.
So that is good. Let me see, what were the other questions? Will there be a presentation on the stormwater easements and stuff for Prince William Estates?
Yes, sir. We had it on, initially had it on the agenda. We received some additional questions from the council as of yesterday. So we pulled it off the agenda to do a comprehensive presentation at the next council meeting to address some of those concerns.
Okay. And to include the maintenance schedule for the stormwater
Yes, sir.
and copies and pictures of what all the stormwater is gonna be. Okay, I think that was some of the concerns from them. You said, Councilman Brown. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor.
Proceed.
Thank you, Ms. Ennis, for the report. Just trying to find out what's going on with our youth summer job internship. Are we gonna have any more opportunities for any other kids in the town to take part in that? And also, status on the youth council, if we are still moving forward on that. I know that's not on your report, but can we get an update status sometime on that? Also, last thing, and this is not popular, but I would like for the town to look at a tax abatement for the residents that have purchased property prior to the roads being brought into the town. I would like to see if there is any legal issues that we are up against with that abatement and how it would affect our budget with the revenue that roads is supposed to be generating. So I'm not asking to do anything other than find out what are the obstacles and how will it impact us financially if we can pursue that.
Okay.
Last but not least, Boys and Girls Club. Summertime is coming. We trying to find something for our kids to do in the summertime. And there's opportunities at the Boys and Girls Club. It's been a problem with transportation. We reached out to PW County to get a bus, come pick the kids up. That didn't work out. I've engaged with the director over there. There are some opportunities for us to make good on taking care of our kids for the summer. So if we can reach out to Judy over there and figure out if there's something we can do to get our kids over there. And those are things that I'm looking to get some update on.
So I can provide an update on a few of those. So in regards to the youth employment, I have sent an email out about last week to the new Recreation and Civic Engagement Director to work with Human Resources so they can outline a new job description and begin that application process so that they're actually in the process of vetting that. Youth Council, I will get back on that with the new Recreation and Civic Engagement Director. I did tell him that that was one of the things council had voted on, and it was going to be one of his tasks to lead up. In regards to Boys and Girls Club, well, in regards to transportation, I have talked to the Recreation and Civic Engagement Director, let him know that we have funds available in the budget to purchase additional transportation, which we can partner with the Boys and Girls Club. So he's actually working on solicitation to get that as well, sir. I will work with our finance staff in regards to the budgetary impact as it relates to a tax abatement, and we'll bring it back with the presentation to council.
Thank you. And I want to make sure that we capture any kind of legal obstacles, if there's any legal obstacles for the abatement. I really trying to get in front of this before we try to pursue it.
Understood.
The boys and girls and transportation, I don't run the town. And I know there's some other things that have to happen in the background. So the legal piece when it comes to picking up kids, waivers from the parents, all that stuff has to happen. So if that stuff is not in place, I'm not looking for you to move that quickly. Just make sure that we tie all the back end on that.
We will. Thank you, sir.
Councilman Pete.
Town Manager, I want to say thank you for that presentation. It was excellent as always. And again, thank you for the work that you're putting in with this town. Guys, we have the town manager that we need right here. She's very just on top of everything, right? If you have a problem or a solution or even concerns or even suggestions of, to help the town grow, she's here to listen to us. She's here to provide the details for us, and she works very hard for us. Going back to the celebration, I want to say thank you to everyone that participated in the celebration. It was my first time being a part of a municipality celebration, and I enjoyed myself. My father was around. He came. He enjoyed himself. My grandmother also. And then I enjoyed the citizens here that participated in the town and also our local business owners also. One of the things that I did have a disagreement with was the booklet at the end. I had a lot of questions of, it was a town celebration, but I didn't see any council members highlighted in the book. But that was neither here nor there. But outside of that, the town enjoyed themselves. We had a great time. Please do continue to look out for Dumfries providing some recreational and some entertainment activities that we would like to bring here as far as a Destination Dumfries aspect. And we wouldn't like our citizens to always have to. One of the main reasons for us bringing that here is we didn't like our citizens always having to drive through some traffic to get to enjoy some music or to relax and things like that. So we want to bring that style. We want to bring that style of entertainment and relaxation and recreational too right here in the heart of the town of Dumfries. So we can either walk to these things or we can drive 2 to 3, 4, 5 minutes and not have to deal with the bulk of traffic on the outside of our perimeters. Moving forward to the abatement. It's one of the things that I brung back up when we had the abatement maybe 2 years ago. It was set for 6 months then at that time, town manager. I was not happy of that, but it was accepted of it, but it was because it was something instead of nothing for the homeowners for this town. If we can look into piggybacking off of Councilman Brown's idea of wanting to bring that back up, I would like to ask if we can look into options of not just a 6 months, as I stated before for myself, but looking into it for the year for these citizens. And with that, town manager, again, I want to say thank you very much for what you're doing for this town.
Thank you, sir.
Because you're doing an excellent job. That's to be highlighted. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Last questions I have is be about awards. Any special awards given out today or any grants received, any of those things that we can announce on a good note. I know we're talking about taking away money. Maybe we can talk about some major money here
Yes.
coming in.
Yes, sir. We have been awarded $1 million from DEQ for our stormwater, I'm sorry.
EPA.
From EPA. Hold on one second. I got it in front of me. Yes, for a Brownsville multipurpose grant, we've been awarded $1 million. So that's a good thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the prompting on that, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. $1 million, a brownfield grant to help us revitalize some areas in our town from the federal government. And today also, two of our officers were recognized. Captain Officer Robinson and Captain Thompson. Captain Thompson will recognize at the Valor Awards at the Chamber of Commerce for the heroic actions of January 4th last year, when we had the multiple shooting that happened over there. Not only were they recognized, but multiple officers and dispatchers and other telecommunications persons were recognized all for this one incident, and they were applauded and cheered on by Tony Perkins from Channel 4 and a whole bunch of their peers, and they received some Valor coins. So that was very special for our officers, and the chief had them all dressed up and looking good today. So give them a round of applause. All right, so those are some good notes. Any further commentary, Town Manager?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on to our consent agenda. All right, any questions, commentary on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I look for a motion. Yes,
Sunday.
Chair Pro Tem.
So looking at the meeting schedule for the remainder of the year, I did see that our second meeting in October is scheduled for the 15th. That is also the same time as the VML conference, not over. No, in the past, we had moved it over to Wednesday or to the following week. I wanted to see if anyone's amicable to sliding it over a day.
To Wednesday the 16th?
Yeah,
Okay.
if that works for the group.
Yeah. Look at the cameras. All right, so just put that in your motion then.
Yes, okay. I'd like to approve the 2024 the next fiscal year meeting schedule with the one exception of October 15th, changing it over to the 16th. You need me to clean that up? Because that was okay. That was a little all over the place.
Second. All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Pete.
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Miles.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
That motion's passed. Thank you.
All right. Next, I'll read us in the closed session and we'll take a brief recess before we go in. It says the Town Council of Dumfries desires to go into closed session pursuant to State Code 2.2-3711 Alpha 1 Code of Virginia to discuss consideration of personnel matters, including the assignment and performance of specific public officers and appointees. I move that we go in on the closed session on that code.
Second.
A second, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Pete.
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Miles.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
We're now in closed session.
All right, we'll meet back there at 8:15. I will entertain a motion to conclude the closed session today and certify in accordance with 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia. To the best of each member's knowledge, that only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed session. And only public business matters that were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened, we heard, discussed, or considered. No one wants to entertain me. That's cool. I will go home and be entertained. No, I said I will entertain a motion to conclude the closed session to certify the closed session.
I'd like to make a motion that, that matters discussed in closed session were legal in accordance with 2.2-3712 Code of Virginia. To the best of each member's knowledge, that only public business matters lawfully exempted from the ongoing meeting requirements were discussed, and that only such public business matters were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened, heard, discussed, or considered.
Second.
That was great entertainment. We've both been entertained. The motion has been made and second. All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilwoman Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Peak.
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Aye. Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
We are now back in open session.
All right. Is there anything to report or any motions? Councilman Pete, I see you.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the floor. I would like to make a motion for the town manager on a performance-based salary increase of 10%.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned to second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilwoman Peterson. Aye. Councilmember Pete.
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Next.
Chair Pro Tem Miles. Aye. Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
That motion's passed.
All right, at this time, the meeting is adjourned.